Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly?
Firefly, what's going on?
You are going to set us up here
Well,
because this is kind of maybe like an overarching rabbit hole.
some of them are.
We're like looking over all of the rabbit holes here.
Mhm. Um, have you ever heard that little saying, if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's there to hear it, did it really happen?
Or does it make a sound?
Does it make a sound?
Yes.
Okay, so that is my question today about the headlines.
That's right.
I see all these crazy headlines and all these like crazy, horrible, scary things happening all over the world. And I started thinking, um, you know, back in simpler times, you didn't really see the news like that. You would, maybe if you went to the movies, you would see the headlines
The
before
newsreels.
the newsreels. And then, people started having daily newspapers. But now we're bombarded with just news nonstop all day long, every day. Like
Yeah,
it never ends through the internet. And it's like, are they manufacturing all of these things?
totally.
Are these things being made up, like
Because what are they
misleading it?
doing? They're controlling us through them.
Yeah. So are these things actually really happening all over the world?
No.
Or are they making this up and putting it out there to scare us and to freak
Yes.
us out and to keep us in this constant frenzy of, you know, fight or flight
None
mode?
of this stuff is real.
Well, we know none of it's real. And, we know like most of it's orchestrated, but I'm starting to wonder if like some of it, if not all of it, but definitely if some of it is actually just not even actually happening
It's
at
not
all.
even happening
At
at
all.
all.
Yeah.
Like, there's local news stories like a man was run over on Main Street. That's a gnarly story. You can go check it
And you
out.
might be able to go down to Main Street and see like blood on the
You
curb
can
or
go
something.
see him, or you
Yeah.
can talk to his family, or you
Yeah.
might know the dude. That's something that's a news story that's like tangible.
Yeah.
But like, what are some of the examples of the stories that we've come across that sound like they could totally just be in the ether?
Well, like we were kind of going down a list of headlines and
Let's talk about some of them.
there was like Elon Musk
Elon,
and
I've impregnated 11 women.
I don't know, is this like a like I think he has 13. Is this the 14th one or was this the
This
13th
is why
one?
Satan voted him off.
He
Satan
had
was like,
too many kids.
Elon, I don't know anything about this woman.
He's like, we're trying to depopulate. What are you
Yeah,
doing? But like
this is why you're not getting inner sanctum status like Peter Thiel.
this was one of the headlines was that he was trying to get full custody because the mom wanted to transgender the 1-year-old child. So
You know what that sounds like? That
like,
sounds
do we
like,
need to know about that?
you know what that sounds like? Elon went to Satan like 2 days ago and said, Satan, I haven't been in the news lately. So he goes, okay, Elon, just calm down. I know you sold your soul. You're not inner sanctum, but I'll let you have a news story. And Elon goes, fine. He goes, you're still on probation from throwing Bono under the bus because Bono's one of my henchmen and you called him out. So you're on probation, but I'll let you come in the news. What I'm going to do is we're going to have one of these women that you impregnated come out and say, she's gonna cause her 1-year-old to chop off their you know what. And you're gonna come out and say, I'm really determined to stop that.
Right.
And that's gonna be a news story, and then your name's in the news again.
Yeah. And here's your
But it's
script.
completely fake. She's not, she's not even a real person.
Or maybe like they just go through like files and files every day of like, oh, we need to fill up some more airspace. Like, what can we put out there? Like, oh, we haven't talked about Elon Musk in a few months. Like, let's like throw this story out there. And you know.
I think he sold his soul and he's like, Satan, come on. I should be in the news occasionally at
He's
least.
bummed out that he's not like in the news every day.
Look it, I don't own Twitter anymore.
He fell from Satan's grace.
I'm not in Doge. I mean, what am I doing now? I mean, you have Alex Jones mentioning me every once in a while, like I'm fighting the good fight in the EU, but darn it, that's not enough.
Mm-mm.
I need to be more prominently featured in the news. And Satan went, first of all, Elon, you don't make demands on me. I'm Satan. I'll let you in the news if I feel like it, but we'll come up with some fake story for you. And this will be a good fake story because this will cause people to get angry. And we kind of like stirring up anger
And
in
this
the
kind of
conservatives.
yeah, this kind of topic does get people angry because you start thinking about the poor child and all this stuff. So this leads me to like another headline that I saw that I thought was really interesting. Um, I guess there's an autistic Barbie now.
It's artistic Barbie.
Not artistic,
It's
autistic.
autistic Barbie.
Yeah. So I don't know, what does that mean? Is she retarded? And how do you know? Because isn't the when I was a kid, I loved Barbies. Like it was my favorite thing to
Yeah,
do. And I would make up these like long they were like soap operas that would go on
totally.
for like months, with the characters. So I would like act them out, these storylines.
Yes.
And that's how I played with the Barbies.
Sounds like normal
So
doll playing for
how do you
girls.
have a retarded or autistic one? Do you have
Well,
to
it
act like
comes on the package and it tells you
it
on the
tells you that
package,
it's autistic?
this one's autistic.
And what is it? I mean,
So then you
does it
have to
look
have like a
different?
short bus. You have to have the Barbie short bus
That goes
and
with
the
it.
Barbie helmet.
And the Barbie doesn't speak, maybe. She's mute, so all your storyline is in your head.
Well, that's the other thing too. Like
You know
autism
what I
has
mean?
become like this blanket like diagnosis for kids who are just freaky weirdos and stupid. Like my kids like really weird and dumb, and they go,
I want a
well,
diagnosis.
yeah, they'll have some psychologist go, we've worked with your child. It's kind of like Sirhan. We
Yeah,
were working with him.
yeah. Your child's on the spectrum.
They're on the spectrum.
And now Barbie's on the spectrum too.
Barbie 2,
So, your child can relate with this Barbie.
totally
So,
fake,
yeah.
totally contrived. And what is it doing too? It's kind of normalizing this whole idea. I think that autism doesn't exist. I think that what you have is people taking shots and having
Side effects.
side effects.
Yep.
And then you have our education system dumbing down our kids.
Yeah.
So those two
And
things,
then you have parents that want a diagnosis for, whatever weird behavior is happening,
because some of these kids are weird.
It's not that they are, slow, like they can't do like schoolwork or
Like,
whatever.
remember in our county, they had that one kid stood up at the front of the class, started jerking off.
Yeah,
They probably just went, well, he's autistic.
they probably said he's autistic.
Yeah.
Like when we were kids, if somebody was slow and had like mental, they couldn't keep up,
Hmm.
they were called retarded, and now that's like a bad word.
And they had a special
That's a
program
bad
for them.
word.
They had like a fat lady who was their teacher, and they would just go and like play with Play-Doh all day.
And they would try to teach them basic stuff, but they weren't like, it wasn't like the kid was weird, so we're gonna call you this. You know what I mean?
Have you noticed that saying retarded is like
It's a bad word now.
bad
But
word?
see, that's what's so weird too about our about language, because retard means to slow down. It means
Yeah,
slow.
they use it in auto mechanics, like
And it's used in music, retard. It means slow.
slow down.
So I don't understand why that became a bad word. It's so that they can have a different word that's a
Do you know
diagnosis.
why? Because um, if your kid's a retard, not a lot of big shawarma. They're probably just like, well, your kid's retarded, you
Right,
know?
right.
But
Oh, good
now
good
they
point.
go, autism, there's big shawarma that we have
Hmm.
for your kid.
Yeah, your kid probably also has ADHD, so we've
ADHD,
got big shawarma for that.
we got big shawarma because those people from that country from 1948, they love to fleece you while they kill you.
Yeah. So I think whether or not Mattel came up with this autistic Barbie, I'm not really sure. I can't imagine they're going to sell too many of them, because remember when they came up with like the fat Barbies because they were trying to be equal opportunity or whatever. They didn't, all those Barbies went on sale at Target. I saw they were all marked down.
Well, that story lends itself to your theory that News stories aren't a report of what's happening. News stories are just filler for your head in order to control you.
Yeah.
And this could totally be that.
Yeah, so whether or not there's actually this Barbie, they're putting it out there that this is such a, a problem or whatever, that we have to actually have a doll to go with it so these kids can have a doll
So let's
that's
just take those two stories. Um, I'm a dude and I have a kid and I'm like 50 and I'm reading these two stories. These first two stories, first of all, I still love America. I still believe in freedom. I love God. I'm a Christian. I read those two stories and my takeaway is I'm mad
Mhm.
because now you're talking about like chopping this 1 year old's dick off. And then you're talking about Barbie's autistic, and you're going, what the hell is
Next
going on?
and next thing you know, your dog's in a wheelchair.
Your dog's in a wheelchair now. And then what? So what's the takeaway is I'm angry and helpless because that's what the people from that country from 1948, they want us to feel angry and helpless.
Mhm.
So those two stories totally could just be ether, just made up. And it's just to try to kind of get your juices flowing.
Exactly. Now we've got like the Minneapolis debacles. And I'm going to just call them debacles because we went over
It's
that.
plural.
Yeah, we went over the latest one in our previous episode. And,
You
you
mean the
know,
episode when we were interrupted by the library announcement?
yeah,
Excuse me, if you have the bike parked in the bike lock, you're going to need to move it, but thank you.
we're kind of low budge.
We're low budget. But yeah, so the debacles in Minneapolis, all of that we talked about is totally fake.
Yeah, they're scripted. But, how do we know that any of it's actually even really happening?
Well, that could have been a total set and a total movie.
Yeah,
Her driving away. I didn't see her corpse. I
no,
didn't see bullets go into her,
just like Charlie Kirk.
just like Charlie
We
Kirk.
never saw any blood. They carried him away instead of calling an ambulance. They carried him
Yeah,
all across. I mean, they carried his injured body
they probably
across the
re-injured
parking
him
lot.
if conceivably.
Yeah, to stuff him into the back of an SUV, and there was no blood dripping, even though he supposedly got shot in the jugular. I mean, that had to be staged.
Everything was staged. So the
But did
Minneapolis
it even?
debacles,
But did it even really happen?
that's right. It didn't.
I
I
mean,
think
do
it
you know
totally
anybody that?
staged.
Do you know anybody that was there?
No.
There weren't there thousands of people.
Thousands of paid
Wouldn't
actors.
wouldn't we know somebody that went to that event?
You know what I think it is? They're all walkers that are totally mesmerized. And so they get invited to these. I think that's what it is.
Like
Like
the Trump shooting.
yeah.
Fight, fight, fight.
Everybody that was in the crowd at Fight, 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 my collar is starch white.
Our leader's a clean
Our
leader.
leader's a clean bleeder. I think what it
Those
is
people were all actors.
all of them that are there, they're all actors. And so what they do is they go and they play their role.
Hmm.
And everything is a big facade and everything's a big show. And I know there's going to be some dude from that country from 1948 that's going to be like, you know what? We have to stop these people because they're just like thinking that nothing's real. But dude, I'm starting to think nothing's real.
Yeah.
You're lying to me and everything's a manipulation
And they do actually, I think, really kill people sometimes
for their movie.
in these events. Yeah, for their movies.
Like, remember at the Trump shooting, there was one dude that got killed.
Supposedly, I mean, we'll never really
We'll
know
never know.
because I don't know anybody who knows him personally.
But could it be that he was shot just to kind of give it the element
Collateral
of realism?
damage. Yeah, I think in some of these events, I think not everybody is a stuntman and they're using fake bullets. I think sometimes they just actually take people out and they're like, well, it was much more realistic this way.
Satan,
You know what I mean?
Satan like is like a third base coach,
Hmm.
and he tells you to go home or stop at third. So right in the real time, like if that person was going to kind of spoil the narrative, they might just have to kill him.
Right. Yeah, maybe that guy saw the guy on the roof or something and he was gonna like screw up the storyline.
Loose end.
You loose
He
end.
was a loose
So
end.
they're like, just get rid of him.
So all of these stories, conceivably, back to your thesis, this is kind of a
It
thesis.
is.
Your thesis is what if all these stories are fake and it's all just make believe so that we will have the takeaway that they want.
Exactly. And not only that, but I mean, I think I've kind of made this point a little bit already, but I'm kind of wondering if a lot of these events are not only staged, but like if we read a headline about something that like took place in like Russia or, you know, Hong Kong or something, how do we even know if that was even staged? Maybe they just took some pictures like off of Getty Images and said, "Look at, there's a war going on over at this place."
Like, remember,
You know?
like right in December of 2019 and January of 2020, it was like, oh, these Chinese dudes caught cooties and look at them shaking around on the ground
Yeah, they're
and
like dead in the
gyrating.
gutters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe they just like put some pictures out there to scare us,
How easy is that?
and none of it even happened, and probably didn't even they didn't even have to stage it.
Everybody gets their information from these two-dimensional screens in their phones
Hmm.
or on their laptop. It's all a screen. So they can totally do a movie and people are going to think it's real.
And so, you know what else? I think I just had like a little bit of an epiphany.
Epiphany, epiphany.
You know how AI is so realistic now, and like you can hardly tell what's real and what's fake anymore.
Mhm.
I'm thinking, you know how when like new technologies and things come out and everybody thinks it's new, it's actually been going on for like a really long time.
Mhm.
What if AI was perfected a long time ago
Yeah.
and they're just now letting us kind of know about it
Yeah.
for us to use like on our computers? What if they were doing these things like years ago? Because
Totally.
like remember that headline in Time magazine in 1971 where they said that human
Human
cloning
cloning's real.
was real?
It's going to become a big problem.
I mean, over 50 years ago. So maybe AI was real 25 years ago,
Totally.
you know?
Like 9/11. What if that was
Oh,
all AI?
I think it was.
Like you were
It
just
looks like
watching a movie.
holograms. Yeah,
They just demolished that building and the
with
planes
explosives.
were
The planes were just
movie.
movie.
They were AI.
Hmm.
And everybody watched it thinking it was real. Because there were people
Where were
that
the
were like,
faces?
there were people that had uh, witness testimony that were on the ground.
Yeah,
And you'll never see these interviews now. They've totally wiped them from the internet.
yeah,
But they were like, I heard a series of explosions. That's all they said. They didn't see planes.
no,
They heard a series of explosions.
right. And where were all those, didn't like the at the Pentagon, like there were no plane parts?
They have the video, like the CCTV,
Yeah,
and all there is like a quick, like
yeah,
it looked like a missile went
yeah,
into it.
yeah,
Not an airplane. There was no fuselage. There was no parts of the airplane. And
right.
then how about in Shanksville where a 747 just like disappeared into a little hole?
Hmm.
And they're like, well, there's no parts there. Well, it was going so fast that it actually splintered and disintegrated.
And it just disappeared into the
That's kind of
ether.
that's kind of the same science. Like, well, that star is 10,000 light years away.
Yeah,
So you travel the speed of light for 10,000 years and you travel to that.
but we can see it.
We can see it
Yeah.
still. It's very, very,
And
very, very big.
one of my other favorite excuses, gravity.
Gravity.
Gravity,
That's why,
gravity,
because we're spinning,
because gravity.
because gravity. So I'm starting to think that we are completely being manipulated by those people from that country from 1948, and everything's a big movie. And the movie's purpose is control so they can usher in this one world government where we're all digitally controlled.
Hmm.
Maybe that's what's going on.
They want to control our minds.
Control our minds
That's what they
because
want.
they need to get rid of America.
Yeah.
They need to get rid of America. So the way that they're trying to do it is through the news, through news stories that manipulate us. So now you have like lesbians going out and throwing Molotov cocktails on the freeway, and they're going to be mad because of what CNN and MSNBC told them. But
And
it's all ether. It's
you
all fake. It's
you
all fugazi.
see how easily controlled people are and how freaked out everybody gets. Like we saw that like during cooties, and some people are still freaked out and they're wearing masks. I mean, it's very easy to control people
You know
with
where I
fear.
noticed it?
Hmm.
I think a lot of Latinas, their bubble says be scared of white men. So, like, if I walk past like a Latina and it's like getting towards dusk and I'm walking on the beach and I got to pass like around a Latina pushing her stroller, she'll like make a big deal, like, I'm scared, go away from me.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and it's like, well, if you look at the statistics, white males are the least violent compared to African American males and Latino males. Latino males are gnarly violent.
Yeah.
So there's no truth in it, but the media bubble has a fugazi in a fake narrative that has her going, I'm scared of white people.
Right.
So all of this is a manipulation.
So you know what?
But
I just had I don't know if this is an epiphany, but I had this like this picture, this image came to my mind as we were talking. And I don't know, sometimes I see like um my thoughts play out like little movies
yes,
in my
yes.
head. And this is how I come up with like
Satan
ideas.
loves that. He goes, good, good, good. We use those.
Well, I had this image of, okay, so what if all this stuff is fake?
Yeah.
And what if everybody starts to realize that, and we can start to live the real world?
Yeah,
And maybe without all of these, scary headlines and all this chaos,
totally.
what if like really we're living in a world that is, full of peace and joy and love,
Well, let me tell you
and
something.
people are kind?
I feel like I've been living in that world since 1987. Because remember, I told you what happened to me in 1987? I looked around and I said, dude, I was in seventh grade. And I looked around, I said, all of the teachers, all of the faculty, all of the kids, they all seem to be controlled by the media. And I rejected the media. And because I rejected the media, I've kind of like, I don't look as old as like other people my age. I look at other
Hmm.
people my age and they look really old compared to me.
I know.
I'm thinking that by shutting yourself off from the media and not being poisoned by their lies, you can actually have peace and joy and happiness and health.
Yeah,
But you have to understand that those are lies. And you have to be able to put things in the proper perspective.
totally.
What were some of the other stories? Because I we had a
Well,
couple other
I
ones.
mean, I want to talk about my movie idea a little bit more.
Expound,
Okay,
expound.
I don't know. I just have this idea that if people could get away from believing all of this garbage that we're being fed, I think that the world would just be like a happier, better place. You know what I
Totally.
mean? I think that we might not be living in the like nightmare that everybody thinks we're living in, because it's kind of turning into a nightmare the way they're feeding us,
Yeah, because you
you
know
know?
what? I think that people genuinely want to get along with each other and have peace and love, but we have our media narratives that are making us go, wait, I'm supposed to hate you.
Yeah.
I've been told to hate you.
And you know what? Like, I have my special place that I love so much in South Carolina. I
Yes,
love to go there. And when I am there, I feel like I'm far away from a lot of these things, and I kind of shut everything off. Like, I don't know, I do this when I go on vacation. I don't really check email or look at headlines or anything. And I feel so much more at peace. And
that's right.
it kind of makes me start to wonder, like, okay, if you don't see it happening, is it happening? If you are in the
That's right.
forest, or if a tree falls in the forest, but you
Now
can
give me
hear it,
epiphany, epiphany,
did it
epiphany.
really make a sound?
That made the epiphany.
What?
So that country from 1948, they're Satan's minions. So just call them Satan. Satan is trying to kill us in a bunch of different ways through the media and poisoning our food. So they're poisoning us. And that's what all of these media stories are. They're mental poison, but then they're also feeding us poison.
I just had a huge epiphany.
Epiphany, epiphany, epiphany.
Okay, so kind of elaborating on what you just said, if this is all Satan's doing,
Yes.
which it is,
He's
maybe
all, you're not supposed to point that out.
maybe we're actually like living in the Garden of Eden. and he's just trying to like corrupt everything.
So when he made Eve eat the apple, that was when they first went, wait, I'm naked. And they had to put like fig leaves over their private parts.
Yeah,
And then God was like, who told you you were naked? Because they didn't even know they were naked. So maybe the Satan through that country from 1948 by controlling our media and our healthcare and all of our food, they're poisoning us to make us believe stuff that we don't even need to be acknowledging.
right.
We could totally be peace and happiness and joy, but we're allowing Satan to corrupt that.
Exactly.
That's the point.
Yeah.
So, what's the white bill?
White pill.
Hard. So the Indian dudes are mad at this one.
Turn off your TV and your internet. Stop reading the news. I don't know. Like
You know what?
if
The Marilyn Manson had this song. He had this album called "Inauguration of the Mechanical God," which is
Mhm.
kind of interesting. That came out in the '90s, and he's talking about clones kind of taking over
Well,
the
he
mechanical God.
he kind of looked like Satan.
He kind of does.
Yeah.
He's definitely like in the culture club.
Yeah.
So he's coming out and saying Satan's plan, but he has to reveal the method. And one of the songs that he has, it goes, kill your God, kill your God, kill your TV.
Whoa.
And I'm thinking, that's what we have to do.
Totally.
You have to stop obeying the TV. Stop. So I think that you can listen to these news stories without internalizing them. That's what you have to do.
Hmm.
You can listen to movies, you can watch movies, listen to news,
Listen to music.
listen to music, but you don't internalize it because they're filled with lies. Once you internalize it, then you start to emotionally get affected by it. So
Exactly.
now I'm really mad at that lesbian in Minneapolis,
Yeah.
but maybe that didn't even happen.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting mad at something that didn't even happen.
Right.
Have you ever hung out with somebody who creates like all these hypothetical scenarios and then makes themselves distraught for what might happen?
I do that
You do
sometimes.
that, Tracy.
That's why
So
I think this is a better way for me to live.
So what they'll do is I've seen people do this. Like, so you're just kind of hanging out with them and it's the evening and you're just kind of talking and they start going down this
They go down a worrywart rabbit hole.
yeah, they go down a worry wart rabbit
Yeah,
hole. So
I have to kind of like keep myself away from those
and
rabbit
then
holes.
now they're making themselves worried sick about something that hasn't even happened yet and most likely won't even happen. It's just a scenario, it's a hypothetical scenario they're creating in their mind and they're making themselves sick thinking about it.
Right.
All you got to do is not think about that. Be in the here and now and just deal with the here and now. That's kind of similar to what this is. What Satan is doing is planting all these hypothetical scenarios.
Yeah.
Because, like the, what was the, what, oh, so Elon Musk's one of the women that he impregnated, and I think it's like 13. He probably named that kid an equation. So equation number three is going to get his dick chopped off by the mom. So that's the story. So what you're doing is now you're getting angry because remember, Alex Jones, he's a purveyor of fear and hate.
Hmm.
So he had a story back during the cooties time where this guy came on his show and he goes, well, my ex-wife took custody of our 5-year-old and now she's chopping off his penis.
Hmm.
And I can't do anything about it. The judge said no. What that does is just make you angry,
Yeah.
even though it's fake. You're like, that injustice won't stand. And now you're mad. You're walking around your living room like angry, internalizing the emotion that Alex Jones is trying to instill in you and it's all fake.
Yeah. And what about the cooties? Like, I just stopped watching the TV and I was thinking, you know what? Like people that don't watch all this stuff, like, are they even getting sick? because it
Homeless dudes were like
kind of
not dropping. Remember that?
seemed, yeah,
Remember, like they're like, you need to wear a mask and get a shot, otherwise you're gonna die. And then homeless dudes were like dirty, smoking crack, and just like, oh hey, do you have $1?
they're like
And you're like,
still
wait a
there.
second, that guy was there yesterday.
Shouldn't all those guys be dead?
He should be convulsing like those Chinese dudes.
Yeah.
But no,
No, that didn't
it
happen.
was all fake.
Hmm.
Everyone's wearing a mask based on fake information that they're given by the media.
Right.
And so they go and put on a mask and are terrified of cooties because of fake information.
Meanwhile, they're like breathing in all their like gross germs all day long and the fibers from the mask, and then they're like constantly adjusting the mask
You're
with their
like,
dirty fingers.
you got hypoxia and maskne. And
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, but I'm protecting myself from what the media told me to be afraid of.
Yeah. And have you ever noticed the people that like wear the masks still even they're constantly adjusting them, like they're constantly touching their face and pushing them up. So like if they're scared of germs, they're probably constantly like putting more germs on their face, you know?
Dude, I watched these guys. It was, you know how I watch my paranormal activity videos?
Yeah,
So one of them was in the Philippines.
that's Kool-Aid.
Well, some of them are real, so shut up. No,
Okay.
anyways, so the guys are in the Philippines, right? And they're like investigating paranormal activity taking place in this barn. And this one was totally fake because this thing that pops out is obviously like a chick with makeup on. And she's like,
Oh
I'm a
God.
witch.
Oh
And
God.
they're like, it's a Filipino witch. So, anyways, but the Filipino dude in the video, he's wearing a mask. So they're obviously in kind of a rural area away from lots of people, but he's wearing a mask, but he's got the mask down around his mouth with his nose out.
That's weird.
So you're not even really wearing the mask properly.
No.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't know. I still see people like that and I can't figure it out. I'm like, what? Like I don't know.
Well, I
It
think that
doesn't
kind of lends itself to what so Satan and those people from that country from 1948 who control our media, they know that they can control people's minds.
they totally can.
And so they can come up with a fake story
Mm-hmm.
and just make somebody go and behave.
Yeah.
And what do we call it? It's trauma based
Based mind
mind control.
control.
So you traumatize them, you get them terrified
And
with a fake story.
this is actually MK Ultra, which was a CIA operation, and they're still doing this where they traumatize somebody and then they're able to control them
And what did we
mentally.
talk about? MK Ultra started off with like Sirhan Sirhan. They're like, dude, we were able to control this guy. He
Mhm.
was able to go into the Imperial Hotel, shoot blindly, and he got blamed for killing RFK. But he goes, wait a second. Satan goes, we can use this on a mass level.
Yeah,
All we got to do is use the media and Sirhan everybody.
we can like Sirhan like an entire population just
So that's kind of
by
a verb now.
TV. Yeah,
So getting Sirhan is kind of like getting Anne Hecht.
totally.
You get Sirhan, that means you get MK Ultra.
Hmm.
You're getting mind controlled
Totally.
through these fake stories.
Hmm.
So I think that's the epiphany of this one.
I think so.
So white pill is you don't have to internalize the emotions that they want you to internalize because
Exactly.
the takeaway is the important thing of a fake news story.
And some of the headlines even seem so ridiculous if you actually like read them twice and kind of like really look at what they're saying. It's like the one that said Zelensky files for an extension on his unelected
You're a
dictatorship.
dictator. You're a dictator.
Yeah,
Why do you have to file?
yeah. Like who's he filing with?
I'm filing
Himself?
with myself.
Yeah.
So
I declare that
yeah.
I will continue my dictatorship.
So it's almost like I asked myself permission to be a dictator, and I granted that
Yeah,
permission.
yeah.
It's
And
ridiculous.
it even said unelected dictatorship. Like,
So that's just
how can you be an elected dictator?
so why would Satan put that story out? And what's the takeaway that they want? The the takeaway is damn it, we're still spending all that money over there in Ukraine,
Hmm.
and that guy is such an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're a leftist and you're hearing that story, you're going, we need to help him so much. Russia's so bad. It's a good thing he's there. Sean Penn hangs out with him.
Yeah.
And
And he's a
Bono.
good piano player.
He's a good
He's very talented.
with his you know what,
Yeah.
which that's probably fake
Yeah.
because his you know what's probably not big enough to even reach the black keys. So, anyways, that's all fake story. The takeaway is I'm angry. angry about Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think what they want Americans to be right now is
Angry.
steaming mad
Angry.
at all of their other fellow Americans, not at those people from 1948.
No, I mean, if they can keep everybody mad at each other and hating each other and, against each other, then that's what they want because, divide and conquer. If they can
And
keep
if it
everybody
wasn't for
mad.
the media, I think people would get along great.
Yeah.
Because you know what? I don't really have anything against people. I like when people are happy and I'm pretty much in a good mood, but the media makes people hate me.
And if most people didn't even know about these things or know these things were going on supposedly, what would they be mad about? And a lot of these things wouldn't even happen, like all the transgender stuff. Like they created this with the media and the social media, and they pushed this whole idea. If they hadn't pushed it, it wouldn't happen.
What if I went to Christmas dinner this year and all of my family members stopped watching the media? We would all get along great.
Totally.
We would all just be eating and having a nice time and talking about what we're going to do and what we're going to get, where we're going to go, and just totally getting along. The reason that none of us get along is because everyone's got their little media bubbles that they're in and they're mad that I'm not in it.
Hmm.
And then I say lesbian and they go, damn it, my media bubble says you're not allowed to say that word. So I think the white pill is everyone needs to because I don't think you're going to get people to stop consuming media. You and I consume media.
Yeah.
We listen to music, watch movies, but be able to discern what the media is doing so you don't drink the Kool-Aid.
And here, so remember that girlfriend you had that you told me she said you can just tilt your perspective.
Yes.
So
She didn't
maybe
practice it, but she told me.
practice what you preach.
Yeah,
Maybe when you consume the media, mm, you could just put it in your head that maybe this is all fake.
that's it. You put it in perspective.
Yeah, you just kind of decide that it's all fake.
You ever heard somebody like when you're having a bad day or you broke up with your girlfriend or something like that, people will be like, put it in perspective.
Yeah.
What happens when you put things in perspective? You look at the larger picture. You look at the big picture. Have you ever heard somebody say that?
Look at the big picture. Yeah.
Because these are all little pictures.
Yeah.
So we got to look at the big picture.
Right.
Any other white bills?
Um,
This was a great
I think
episode.
this was good.
This was really profound
Yeah.
because it doesn't mean stop reading the news, stop watching movies, stop watching TV. It
It
means
just means
keep it in perspective.
tilt your
Tilt
perspective.
your perspective. Understand that they're probably lying to you. Why might they be lying to you? And don't allow yourself to be emotionally impacted by this because that's the manipulation.
And you know what? I want to make another point because you just said something that was really important. I think we always have to ask the question, why would they be lying to us? Why?
Yes.
Like, you know how you ever hear people say, you have to like look at like where the money came from,
Follow the money.
follow the money. It's the same kind of thing. Why would they lie about A, B, or C? And if you really stop and think about it and you like trace it back and follow the money, um, I think that's all part of having an open mind, which we like to encourage our listeners to always have an open mind. But we mentioned those people from that country from 1948 a lot because they do control everything, and I think that's like a really difficult I-
Reality.
reality, and it's hard for some people to like think about or accept. And even I know a lot of like churches kind of push this idea like you can't question that,
Schofield Bible teaches
the
them we
Schofield.
have to support them.
So it's hard for like a lot of good people to kind of like open their mind to the idea that that could be happening. But I think if you follow the money and you ask yourself why, and then you like trace it back and really research why, like why would they lie? Why did they lie about cooties? Well, they wanted everybody to, jump on board with the whole plan.
That's right.
And why would they lie about any number of things?
Why would they lie about this good Samaritan in
Exactly. Why would
Minneapolis?
they lie about it? And if you can't come up with an answer, I think, you know, kind of like look a little bit deeper because there's always a reason
Have
that's
you ever
going to
watched?
benefit them.
Yeah, have you ever watched Murder She Wrote?
Yeah,
Remember her?
I remember that.
So on Murder She Wrote, what does she do every episode? She solves a murder.
Right.
And what's always the question that she's looking for? Motive.
Motive. Right.
She's always
What's
trying to
the
figure out
motive?
why, who would be doing this, and what do they gain from it?
You know what?
You got to be Murder She Wrote. You got to
Yeah.
be, what was her
Or
name?
Columbo.
Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
Or Columbo.
Columbo, remember him?
Yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
always asked questions. He would
Yes,
always ask interesting, very insightful
that's
questions.
right.
And I think maybe people have gotten away from asking questions
That's right.
and they just like the media feeds them and they
That's right.
just they just eat it up and they don't ever question any of it.
They don't.
They don't ask questions about any of it.
What's the key question when you're watching a movie, when you're watching a news story and you're going, why are they telling me this?
Mm.
What is the key takeaway that they want me to have?
And I think a good question to ask is what do they benefit from telling me this and who benefits? Who benefits from me believing this story? And, why do they want me to believe this?
So profound. I love that.
I love it
That
too.
was such a good idea. And I think that was coming from the ridiculous litany of stories that we had
I
today in the
know.
news. I mean, it was like
It
ridiculous. It was almost like a joke.
went from Elon Musk's transgender 1 year old to autistic Barbie to Zelensky filing for an extension.
Exactly. Exactly. So, um, we have to always be discerning
Exactly.
in that capacity.
That's exactly right.
So, this was a good episode on how to train your mind because if you allow yourself to get emotionally affected by the media and the movies, what you're doing is like if your girlfriend's creating a bunch of hypothetical scenarios and getting all worked up about stuff and that didn't even happen yet.
I know. So just maybe tilt your perspective
Don't do that.
and don't believe everything you're
Deal
seeing.
with what's real rather
Yeah.
than what you've been told.
Yeah. And enjoy life.
Enjoy life. Be
Yeah.
happy. They don't want you happy.
No,
Okay.
that was good.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.